Welcome back, everybody, to Dan Has Fun. Me, Daniel. Last episode, we had a big old tussle with the Dutch, and we came off on the winning side. We also turned into the Italians. And something actually that's worth mentioning that didn't come up when we spoke about the Italian faction last time around is to do with ideological proximity. So when you're Italy, and actually when you're the Edo-Japanese as well, like Lime Green is at the moment, you always have maxed out ideological proximity. What does that mean in practice? It means that the other opponent's war support, it increases if you break treaties with them, as you'd expect. Declaring wars against them severely decreases your own population's war support. So in essence, by having kinship when it comes to ideology, attacking them in turn then makes your population even less happy than they would be attacking, say, somebody with a very different set of ideologies. So that's something definitely to bear in mind. We're probably not going to have to do too much warring, though, honestly, at this point. We might end up trying to clean the Dutch up. Really, our concern is going to be with the Zulu, so black at the moment. They have, just to, make sure that you're up to speed just like I am, because I haven't played this in about a month, so, maybe you haven't watched for a while either. The Maya in brown are our vassal. I can't even pronounce that, but Magenta, they are a vassal of black, so the Zulu. We have Seuss in here because it was a peaceful tribe that we just effectively annexed. And then we have the Edo-Japanese here in lime green, who are independent. They don't like us very much. They did for a very long time, and then all of a sudden was just like, no, we hate you. I think I know why, and it's to do with this screen, so the society screen. You notice that a couple of their locations are converting to Italian. So that's probably why. The other reason why, if I exit out of this for a second and go and click on them, let's go into our crisis tab. We have one grievance, which actually, if we press, we can try and get 3,500 gold out of them. We're not going to do that right now. But they have 5 grievances and they're demanding 2 things from us, which we're not going to do. But the funny thing is we can't even refuse the demand. Technically, we're not going to accept, but we can't refuse because their war support's already at 100. So when you refuse a demand, it gives them 20 war support. But if they have more than 80, you can't physically refuse it. You just have to wait for it to time out. In terms of a grievance before it gets to a demand, or end up at war, their war support drops, and you can kind of force them to not have those in demand. Just in case you can hear it in the background, by the way. So after Christmas, at this point, I'm recording this on December the 28th. But our cats down here got a lot of cat toys, one of which is a butterfly on a stick. And he is going crazy about it. So he's having fun. That's the important thing. Apparently as well, we have a wonder that we're not building. That's fine. I'm not really that worried about it. Like I said, it has been probably about a month since I've actually played this. So I did listen to my own video, last video before this recording, just to make sure I had some semblance of remembering what's going on. But apparently we have starvation, which is true. In 3 turns they're going to lose a population point, but they're also going to get a hamlet, which will give them more farmer slots. Because right now they're maxed out on farmer slots, so there's really not a huge amount we can do. And we can't afford to force buy that, and we're definitely not sacrificing 22 population to build it. That's not happening. The other city, what's the other one that's starving? Accidentally acknowledges it. Right, go me. But it's not going to be that important. We don't care about any of that. I like the little bomb option when it's a grievance. That's kind of cute. So what do we want to do this episode? Obviously, we can't go back after the Dutch. We just got into peace with them. I also don't particularly want to attack the Edo-Japanese, because my concern is if I go after them, they only have 3 settlements, effectively. Albeit, their capital, San Lorenzo, is a combination of, like, 3 different regions here. Maybe more, actually. It looks like it's a 4-region combination. That's going to be a lot of work, and if I get attacked by the Zulu simultaneously, my vassal is not going to be able to protect me. They're effectively a one province minor. So we're going to probably hold fire for now. Maybe try and get our population really back in order. We're going to try and colonize some of the crappy islands around the outside of the region. Just to say that we got it done, we are going to station these guys for now. And end turn. The Dutch declared war on the Zulu. Why? Aren't they just going to get their butts handed to them? It does present an opportunity for us. Do we want to potentially go after the Zulu because the Dutch are? But I feel like the Dutch are just going to get smashed. Also, I don't actually see that they're at war. Was that true?
You are busy, I can see that. But I promise that...
I don't see that they're at war. Maybe that's just an incorrect piece. Don't know. We're going to ignore it for now anyway. We have a separation of powers, so we now have a new civic available. E-Religion, yeah, that's what I meant to say. E-Religion. E-Religion. We want to have an irreligious society. So you can have secularism or state atheism. If we go secularism, you can't enforce a state religion, but you become immune to religious grievances, although we've really not had any. If we go for state atheism, we can become effectively atheist. We lose some foreign religious strength bonus, but we do get more faith on territories if the territory follows the state religion. I'm not inclined enough either way to care about that. Do we have anything else of any interest to us? We're not doing religious rights. We haven't really gone a religious heavy game here. Just hasn't happened. We can go for fundamental values though. And I am tempted to get cheaper commons quarters. I think that actually might be quite helpful.
Is more than worth a bit of risk, right?
And that's not going to matter. Independent peoples aren't going to matter in this case. I know it sounds rude, but I don't think it's going to matter at all. So we're good there. Alright, let's see what else needs moving. I guess I should check too. What's building? Who's building what? Pangaea, Hamlet, Nampara was doing an alchemist workshop and then has nothing else to build. We can now get a unique Italian cultured building, which is just more influence, more stability, especially more influence if you have researchers and traders, which this is not a very good location for that. I'm going to help build the shared project because I don't really have a huge amount that needs to do. Seuss is going for military buildings, which makes sense. Nemossos is going for more food, which it definitely needs because it's going to shrink. That must be the other city that it said was starving. So we're okay with that. Kerma is going for a mine, and then I assume it's going for sciencey buildings. Yes, it is. And then our capital, Haojing, what are you up to? You're going for a bit of science, and then just a bit of everything, honestly. Just a little bit of city maintenance, I guess. Then Akkad is going for a hamlet and money, and then you're going for science. Okay, I'm happy with all these. We don't have to change anything. I know, we lost the population. It's okay. Al-Bali converted to a new religion. Again, we don't really care too much. We're not playing the religion game. We're just letting them do their thing. We are going to claim this territory for ourselves. Is there a tile worth doing anything here? This is not going to be a prime location, let's be totally honest, but... 3-8 isn't terrible. They're actually more tempted to go for 8-2. Okay, we'll do that. Bit more food in the immediacy will definitely help, and we have a little bit of space to build buildings, just not a lot. It's not going to be a huge location, put it that way. We've researched military architecture, so we can now absorb city. I know that's something we talked about last episode as well. It's not a huge priority for me. If only because we're only one over the city cap. So I don't really care hugely. It's only a penalty of 10 influence. It's not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Do we want to get a particular tech, though? You can get a luxury manufacturing, it just creates fame. That's interesting. Honestly, I'm just going to go for the tech. The science, technology. We have a nice set of our Capusias there. We're just going to have them sit as well. Did they end up actually at war with one another, the Dutch and the Zulu? No. So I don't know what's going on there. They're not vassals or anything either, so I don't know. Not a big deal either way. Just going to end turn. These next few turns should go by pretty swiftly. They're now scared of us. Don't really care. Oh, lime green likes us again. Okay. I didn't even know they were in a war. Interesting that... What is going on over here? Oh. The Dutch have been... Hang on. So they are actually at war.
With the iciness your behavior warrants.
Oh, ha! They were at war. I was looking at the left-hand side of the screen. Somebody's probably been shouting in the comments like, hey, dude, read the right side of the screen. They are actually at war.
Have we
My bad. We worked it out eventually, though. So they are actually at war.
Talk.
Tell me what is on your mind.
The Dutch are just going to get trashed. Like, there's no avoiding it. But I don't feel like they're going to actually provide enough resistance to make it worth jumping in on the Zulu. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it being worth it. What is that material, by the way? Obsidian? Okay. Yeah, because Amsterdam down here is just going to end up being isolated. And if the Zulu don't take it, I guess I can then take it later in a very quick war. So I guess that's what we'll do. We'll just leave them alone. At least we know that while the Zulu are distracted, they're less inclined to go for me. And while they're less inclined to go for me, we don't then have to spend a load of, money on military units to deal with it. If they like us again, is their war support going to drop? Nope. Can I get them to do anything? All ongoing demands must be resolved first. I still can't refuse them, so I guess the answer is no. Okay. Well, if they're pleasant towards us, they're probably less inclined to attack us, but we still don't really care. So... excuse me? Cannot be done as there's no valid adjacent territories to claim. Oh, he's already building it. There's been a few updates since this game came out, but I still think the interface has issues. So, like, from this time, if you look at the screen exactly from here, the only way you can tell an outpost is actually being done is if you actually notice the settlement name. I always look for the symbol. It's going to take 16 turns because this is a terrible location. It's got almost no hammers at all. But it will have more food, which is why I'm founding it here. It's still going to take forever. Didn't I have another scout? How do I pull up my unit list? I can never remember. That's cities and outposts. All military forces. Okay. So in terms of units then, I could have sworn... Yeah, here's the scout. Okay, is there another one? I could have sworn I had 2 scouts. Did he die? No, there's one. I'm just going to take this guy, then, because the scout defensively is going to be worthless. So we're going to not ransack our own. We're going to do a transfer of this one scout over there. And then when he gets there, he'll let us know. And we'll go and start colonizing another area out there. So Napata has got another population point. They are slowly forgiving me for all the things that they should be forgiving me for. And we have an event for Poisoned Whispers. Over the years, you've been advised by an interesting motley of counsellors, from cryptic spiritualists to straight-talking soldiers, but none have captured the imagination of your people like the Monk of Nemossos. the long-haired, common-born mystic. Unfortunately, although he offers you illuminating perspectives, the people despise him and his folk wisdom. Now they demand his exile. What will you do with him? You can either banish him, which doesn't do a huge amount, honestly, or we can actually assassinate him. We're just going to banish him because I don't want to be that guy. It's kind of like the Rasputin situation all over again, isn't it? We're not going to start singing that, I promise. We have started to get pollution. Oh, we haven't. The Zulu have. We'll talk about this more when we get there, but pollution has some not so good effects in this game, much like in real life. We've got... Sus has just gained a population and then is immediately starving. The Zulu are aggressive. They're not hate-filled about us, at least, so that's that. So they gained a population, but don't have enough food to manage it, so they're just going to lose food again and lose population. They do have a horse. So I'm just going to quickly build... I'm going to actually spend money, get the armory, and then I'm going to have them build the animal barns. It'll lose a population, but then it's just going to grow it again afterwards, so it's fine. That's not a big deal. Not in the grand scheme of things. I don't see any units around my location, though. I do have to be a little bit careful, and I want to keep some money spare, because when the time comes, we'll have to upgrade our units. Because here we just have archers. We have a longbow, but both of these are out of date at this point, because they can be upgraded to the arquebusier, right? I'm assuming... Oh, no, archers don't actually spend more money to upgrade. That's interesting. You'd think the longbow, because they're better, would be less expensive to upgrade, but nope, that's not how this game works, apparently. Still got my Civ brain on, I guess.
Who knew there was
And yes, Sus lost its population, like I mentioned. Akkad has completed its queue. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to get... Yeah, this is a city with a lot of population in it. So a teatro will actually be very helpful. Where's the best place to put this thing? Interesting that the game has not actually suggested an optimal tile. Is it because there isn't a particularly good tile for it? Or is it just that it's going to be pretty much the same across the board? Okay, well, we'll put it down there then. And then we are going to need a little bit more food, probably. So that is definitely the way to go. It gives you more farmers slots and makes your farmers slots 2 food more efficient. So that's really, really good. There's a stack of units. What are they using? So we have an Impi, which is going to be the Zulu unique unit. Interesting, it has a bonus combat strength when attacking a stronger unit. Well, we're probably not going to run into that anytime soon because the Impi has 53 combat strength, so that's probably not a huge issue for us. They have arquebusiers of their own, and then I'm guessing these are just great swordsmen. Great swordsmen with quite a lot of experience too. You only gain, I think, 1 combat strength for having veterancy experience points, so it's not a huge difference, but it's something, right? And we do want to keep an eye on it, but the nice thing is, as we found out the hard way, this valley is a pain in the backside to navigate. So let's say they attack us this way, we have a lot of time. I don't think they will. And we do at least have some defenses here. Napata's not massively defended, but then if you think I'm going to have all of my kind of defensive built-in units, I don't think we're going to be too bad. So we'll end turn again. The Maya have now got into the next era. They are now the Ottomans. How are they doing for fame? They're only 1 star behind us. Speaking of which, I didn't actually realize if you just hover your mouse over your flag symbol in the top left corner, you actually see your stars. You don't actually have to click on it. So we're 1 settlement away. We're miles behind for getting a star for money. district's going to take a while as well. So influence might be a bit quicker, unless we end up at war. We're not looking to get stars very, very quickly right now. The only ones we'll really be getting is this expansionist star. That's about it. Hao Jing, what are you going to need? Might as well get a hamlet down. That's actually a pretty good town to put in. So we'll get our hamlet in. And what do we want to do after that point? Because we have really, really good stability. So we could put out more districts if we wanted to. We are pumping out a lot of production and a lot of science. We have so many researcher slots. And they're very efficient. But we don't actually have the population to put everything in there. So getting some population in there might not be a bad idea. And really the way to do that is going to be, first of all, we're going to make our farms more efficient. And then we're going to put down another farm. Boy over here. And we're going to put down another one as well. Is that a particularly good location for it? I guess that'll work. Okay. And then we can start building whatever we need to do from there. Hopefully more science if we're not going to be attacked. And if we are, at least we have the production to deal with it. Let's get this territory down. What's the best location here? It's suggesting 14 and 4. I prefer this 11 and 7 location. Are we now out of grievances? They have no grievances anymore, but they still have the 2 demands. So I assume we still can't do a treaty. Correct. We're getting there. Also, why aren't you guys moving? Oh, they are. They're just moving in a really slow, stupid way. Okay. So I guess that means there was a scout on the run. We just didn't know where it was. So we're going to end up with a 3rd scout who's going to be on our coastline. I guess we might as well settle this crappy land as well. Get all the terrible outposts. We can even go up here first. I'm sure it's going to be less terrible. I'm wondering if all these fractured islands are going to make building districts really, really difficult and inefficient. I don't really know. Aren't you building... Okay, yes you are. You're building Warloff. Okay, perfect. Nearly fell into the exact same trap as last time. Seuss now has nothing left in its queue. So we should probably finally try and improve this city a little bit in terms of its non-military infrastructure. And really the way to do that, it doesn't produce a huge amount of money or science, although it gets 9 science per researcher if it can. But let's be honest, this isn't going to be our science location. It's way too vulnerable. So what we're going to do is we are going to get that food building in, just so we can, you know, grow up to maximum, because we've still got space for another 6 population points. We want to get down... We don't have a huge amount of forest or woodland here, so that's not going to be hugely effective. So we're going to get a couple of buildings to increase our stability, not stability, production rather, although stability is not a bad idea. But then beyond that, we'll do that. That'll actually help with our production. It doesn't increase our production per se, but it makes armies cheaper to build. So it's kind of one and the same, right? Okay, so what we want to do then is... I guess we'll go up here next. It doesn't look like very good land, but it's closer to the Zulu, or the Ottomans now. Black. And then you're going to station in place, so at least we have something there. And turn. So we're going to have a couple of pretty quiet turns here while we get our colony set up. We have movable typeface, which is going to give us those 2 sciencey buildings, which is awesome. And now I'm thinking, we don't really have a huge tech priority. Do we have anything that we need to backfill? Oh my lord, we have so much tech that we can theoretically do. Our science production must be rubbish compared to what it could potentially be. What do we really need? We don't need any naval pieces, honestly. Siege artillery is great, but not that important. We do have coal, so we could use coal generators. And then we have a coal plant. Now, coal plants do create pollution, which, like I said, we'll talk about more when it comes up. Fertilizer for food. Symposium just gives flat science. Let's go for our unique military unit, just to say that we have it. But yeah, the science is taking forever to research, so we definitely want to prioritize our science some more. Actually, to the point where...
Dissemination.
Oh, we have a world deed. Because we discovered movable typeface, we get 50 fame. I'm wondering, is there a way of getting our science here up? There is, but then I'm going to start hemorrhaging some gold. But it's fine. We're going to take... We're still going to make a lot of money. So that's going to help our science massively. So that's like effectively 100 science we've just gained by just reallocating there. So that's fine. This location is... I want to see, is there a city that we've got where we have really high research per person, but really low money per person? Not really. So we're just going to drop 4 scientists in there. That's fine. We already did it there. A CAD can only take 2 more scientists, so it might as well do it. This one can only take 1 more. Okay. I'm not going to sacrifice too much more money than that. We still want to make us, a fairly suitable amount per turn. We have access to a new civic for artistic expression. We can either censor the arts or, allow for free arts. If we censor it, we get less stability loss per turn, but then less stability gain per turn. Or we can go for free arts where it's just the exact opposite. There's a lot more. And I'm going to do that. Because it means when we then take over a potential, target, it will bounce back quicker. I think that's going to be more helpful to us. And it fits our, how we're playing a bit more. Now has a 7 stack of units. I'm still not overly worried. I will definitely keep an eye on it, though, see if any more is going to come up, but still not worried. The Maya at least have 6 units now to protect itself. What's our vassal doing? Oh dear, these are out of date. Crossbow, pike, horse. They are miles behind. Wow, if we get attacked by the Ottomans, they're going to just fall apart immediately. We also have another civic for press freedom. And we can either do freedom of speech, or we can do propaganda. If we do freedom of speech, it's cheaper to enact a civic. But if we do propaganda, there's no Empire Revolution. That doesn't sound fun, though. Let's just have it cheaper. It's 11,000 influence to do that. Expensive.
Whatever ridiculous things the government
Seuss is starving again. It's still building the food building, that's why. So it's just going to yo-yo back and forth. That's fine. We're just going to ignore the pop-ups then for Seuss. Apparently we're up to 30 research quarters as well, so that's pretty awesome. And that... Zulu rebels. Interesting. Why have they come into my territory? I don't know. We're going to ignore them. I don't think they'll do anything to me, but we'll see. We're just going to keep going until I can get the other outpost set up so I don't forget to do it. Akkad lost a population. The Dutch and the Japanese are no longer allied. The Dutch are now seen as traitors. Dutch have ended their relationship. Oh, it's because of a vassal. So the Dutch are a vassal as well now. So Black has 2 vassals. We have 1. Lime Green is going to be too big, 2 vassal, but I am... If I can get their grievances to go away, I'm almost tempted to ally with them.
You have my ear.
They're going to reject it. But I'm going to at least let them know that's the plan, right?
Get out of my sight.
And then maybe the AI will think of, hey, maybe we'll stop doing this. We'll see. They're only a hesitant, so we'll see. And we have another event, representative government. So we can either reform it, and we can lose a bit of money and get more stability. We can study, which gives Zeus just more science and less money temporarily. Or we can ignore it, which normally I do because there's another event that's possibly going to fire, but I don't want to do that, I'm just going to study it. Because I imagine, even though it didn't say it, that the odds of that being a good event are pretty low. I'm going to say they are very low, actually. Okay, he's still going over there. We do have a lot of ships just randomly going around looking for events, so I'm not worried about these outposts coming out here, but what we are definitely going to have to do eventually is combine, probably, if we can even, because I don't know if they're going to be combinable, given there's just empty regions with nothing in it between. We'll find out. I'd like to combine all of these island nations together into just one city, just so that they have something going between them. Akkad's losing population, the Dutch are jealous about us, we don't care. That was like the third notice in 4 turns for Akkad. Are they actually okay? Yeah, they are, and they're building a food building as well. I'm going to get them, after they've done that, to put down another food tile as well. And then this location doesn't really produce a huge amount of science, so I'm not going to rush. But they do have a river, so that will help too. And then we will come back and see what we want to do. Do we have any of these outposts formed yet? Yes, I know, Akkad's having issues. We can do grievances, we're not going to. 2 more turns for Darumad to turn into a location. And then our scout is coming up here. He hasn't made it yet. We'll probably not wait for the 3rd outpost. We'll probably put a cut in before that. And then Warloff should already exist, right? Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. So we want to get our mine out over there. Get our mine out here. We can't put the mine out on the coal yet because we don't know how to do that. We definitely want to put a harbour down. It's nice, easy, free food. And our city cap. So we could turn this into a city, but we're not going to do it yet. What we're going to do at this point is pretty much do no more social policies for a prolonged period of time. Just stock up on our influence, and then we're just going to eventually, like I said, turn them into cities and combine them together. Okay, so we're looking good on that front. And then Darumad should now be an official city, or an outpost anyway, which it is. And again, same logic, we're going to get our harbour down. 30 food off that harbour, that's massive. And we want to make sure that the pearls are set up. And we're good there as well. Okay, so Darumad is set up as an outpost. Warloff is set up as an outpost. We'll get another location set up as an outpost next time around. Hopefully you'll join me for it. And if you do want to join me, subscribe. It's easy to remember that way. Or if you like the video, if you want to give some support. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Thank you for watching the video.